first episode of Relevant Features Podcast, where we shine a light on people that's doing amazing and great, dope things out here in the community and as well as just in the world, just making an extreme impact, man. So today we have a very special guest and somebody that, you know, I found on social media that's doing this thing, man, in the credit repair business with personal credit, bro. Jamel Phillips.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you,
sure.
Tristan, for having me on to the podcast. Very first episode. Let's turn up, man. Let's do our thing for this one, for sure.
For sure. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, bro.
So obviously my name is Jamel. I'm from Queens, New York. I'm 27 years old. I'm in the credit repair space, but I consider myself an entrepreneur because I don't only do credit repair, but credit repair is like my main source of income. So this is like where I start to like maneuver and just to give people an understanding of who I am. So the other businesses can then, you know, transpire into that.
For sure. All right, man. So, bro, how did you get even started in the credit repair business, and how did you find it to be important to you to really get started into it? What's your backstory?
So to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure everybody has the same story as far as credit repair, but mine was, my credit was messed up. So at the time, my credit was like 540-ish. And I didn't want to pay nobody because at that time I was probably like, I want to say like 20, 21. So I ain't had no money like that to pay somebody $1,000, what we were speaking about before, like paying people $1,000.
Exactly.
I didn't have that type of money. So I was like, you know what? Let me read every single book that I possibly can on credit repair. And I came across this one book. Shout out to Ash Cash. If y'all don't follow Ash Cash, I am Ash Cash on social media. Solid dude. He has a book called What the FICO. So I read that book and it mentioned becoming a FICO professional. So I was like, all right, this is something that's interesting. So I Googled it and I didn't see nothing of FICO professional wise. I didn't see anything come up. So the only thing that I saw was credit repair specialist. Okay. So I did my due diligence and I digged a little deeper and I came across a course that showed me like how to start my own credit repair business. And I took that, got certified in that. And then I took a few more other courses just to see like if the information was similar. So I took a few more other courses and it's been going on for like 3 years now, almost 3 years. For this year, November is going to be 3 years. So I'm like 2.5 years in from the time I started to now.
For sure, bro. That's good, bro. For real, man. It ain't like I said, like I told you before, man, it's good to see people like us doing that, bro. For real.
Nah, for sure, bro. I appreciate that.
We all have our stories behind, you know, starting, you know, to get involved with whatever we get involved with as far as business. And it's good to hear your story, bro. And
absolutely,
why you was even inspired to do it. And shout out to Ash Cash, like you said, bro.
Shout out to Ash Cash.
I watch his, yeah, shout out to him, bro. I watch his show, you know, on YouTube and stuff like that too. And he inspired me for sure, bro.
Ash Cash, solid dude, man. Solid dude.
Definitely is, bro. So how long has your company been in business, which you already kind of answered, 3 years, right?
So 3 years, I wouldn't say I was doing it, but it became an official business on November 2019. But I was doing it, I was promoting it on my personal page, my personal social Instagram page for like, I want to say like dating back to like 2018. So you could say like going on 4 years actually. But I didn't turn it into an actual business until November 2019. November 2019. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. So what is your mission to get out of this, bro? Like, what are you looking to do and produce from doing this, like from building personal credit, bro? And like, what are you looking to do with this?
So my mission is pretty simple, Tristan. It's just to help people understand the basics of credit and then utilize the credit and leverage the credit to build wealth. So
for sure.
We mentioned before, like how you want to use your personal credit for business credit. That's the easiest, probably the most, you know, logical thing to do is using your personal credit and leverage your personal credit so then it could transpire into business credit. Because we're not just using our personal credit just to tell people like, yo, look at my score, I got a 798. You're not using it for like illusion purposes. You're using it to actually build your situation, like build on whatever it is that you got going on. You're a serial entrepreneur. I consider myself an entrepreneur as well. There's going to be times where we're going to have cash. We're not going to necessarily want to use our cash.
Right.
Because credit gives you leverage, and leverage is time. So it just gives you time for you to make the moves that you want to do, and then you will pay a minimum or you pay a little bit less than what you would pay if you was using cash. So it just gives you a different alternative. Not saying that cash is terrible, because you still need cash to pay off your credit cards.
Yeah.
But credit just gives you an incentive where it's like you'll get less interest rates, or you'll get more opportunities as far as funding goes. Like it just puts you in a different situation than if you were just using cash. So that's basically my mission, just to help people understand the basics of credit, how important it is in your life and your everyday life, because everything that we deal with on a day-to-day, or everything that you constantly want in this lifetime, material-wise, is equating back to credit. You want a house, you want a car, you want to go to school, you want a job, they looking at your credit report. So
exactly.
You can't escape it. So
there's no way around it.
There's no way around it. Like you got to either understand it and understand the fundamentals, or you just pretend you so scared of it. No, I don't want to use it, whatever the case may be. And you watch everybody else elevate their life, and you just stand in the same position. You might, I'm not saying that you wouldn't have a great life, but you'll have an even much greater life if you have cash on hand and you have credit. Those are the two dynamic duos. Like you can't escape that. That's great. So for sure.
At that point, you become like almost unstoppable. At that point,
unstoppable, bro. You got cash and you don't got no credit. It's like you can still make moves. And the same way, if you don't have no cash, but you got credit, you can still make moves, but you're gonna still need cash. But then you can turn the credit into cash. So then it becomes like a revolving thing for you. Like you could keep using the same thing over and over and over again. But when you got both of them together, oh man, oh man, you like Thanos.
You're like Thanos, right? That's what I'm saying. You pressure at that point.
Yeah, man.
For real.
Sure.
Yep. So another thing I want to ask you. So what are the services your credit company offers to help repair your client's personal credit, bro?
So I offer credit repair services for personal credit. I did partner with somebody to help with business credit, like as far as like getting funding and stuff like that. So she helps me out. Shout out Karine. She's a great person.
For sure.
Great affiliate. Like she helps me out with all as far as like the business clients, the business credit clients, I'll just send them to her. But as far as personal credit, I deal with that on a day-to-day. So my services go as follow. So it's $300 to sign up with me. And then depending on what you have on your report, collections and charge-offs and late payments, those are $50 per item per bureau removal. So let's say you have a collection account on all three bureaus and it's removed, you have to pay me 50, which is $150 on top of the sign-up fee. Mm-hmm. But you don't pay for the items that's removed until they're removed, right? Okay. So it's just to give you an idea of what you're going to be paying overall if you have any negative items. But I also have tools for you to do it yourself if you do have credit issues where you don't want to pay me because you feel like my services are too expensive. I do provide the tools for you to do it yourself. So then you don't feel like you're in a box where it's like, oh, if I don't take your services, then I can't do anything else, you know? Like you still have an option, right? Mm-hmm. And I always wanted to make it an option-based business where it's like you have the options because now you can offer something else, like an alternative. Like, let's say you don't have $300 to pay me up front. I still work with people. I do payment plans. But at the same time, it's like some people would rather take the time out to learn it. And I would rather you learn it because then you can pay it forward to somebody else. Mm-hmm. But if you do want to pay for my services and you are interested in learning it on your own, I can show you because I'm now taking one-on-one consultation calls with people that do want to start their own credit repair business. That's something that I'm not doing severely. Like I'm not promoting it heavy, but if someone is like, you know, interested in learning about how to start their credit repair business, I'll greatly break it down step by step for them.
Right.
I might do a course on it. I might do a class depending on future, but as of right now, it's like my business takes a lot of my time. So it's like, it's going to be hard to like make a course, but in the future, I'll definitely make a course on how to start your own credit repair business from start to finish and how to grow it to be successful. Because you can easily make 100,000 in this business. Easy make 100,000.
That's crazy easy. Though, man. For real. Yeah, for sure. So I wanted to ask you another question. So why is having good credit so important? Like, besides, like, you know, we kind of peel back a little bit about it,
right?
But like, to people who say like, man, I don't really want to deal with credit. Why do you feel like that it's so important to them? Like, cause some people say that, like, still some people in that mindset, bro. You know what I'm saying? They like, man, I don't want to meddle with that.
Right. It's very important. It's very imperative. It's essential to your life. It's like, I wouldn't equate it to the same thing as water or shelter, but you're going to need credit at some point in your life. That's something you cannot escape. Like, for example, you see people go to car dealerships all the time.
Right.
And the one thing the car dealership salesman is going to ask you is, how's your credit score?
Right.
Same thing if you're going to apply for a mortgage for a home. Even if you're going to apply for an apartment, they're pulling your credit score. Like, you can't escape that. So any moment, any particular time in your life, you're going to use credit. You're going to apply for a loan for college. They're going to look at your credit report. You're going to apply for a job. It might be a soft pull. It's not going to be a hard pull, but they're going to look at your credit report. Exactly. Right? You're going to apply for a credit card. You're going to apply for a loan, or another car loan. Like, anything that you want in life, as far as material wise, you're going to need credit for. You cannot escape that. So what I tell people is, I used to be the same way. And I always give the example, and this is why being relatable is very important, so people can understand where it is that you came from to where you are now.
Right.
My score, as I mentioned before, was 540. And I always used to think credit was garbage, because it's like, what the hell do I need credit for? I'm 19 years old, 20 years old. I'm not going to buy nothing crazy. And if I do buy something crazy, I'm not, I always heard the horror stories of, man, I ain't paying my credit card bill off. Right. So now your stuff ends up as a charge off or as a collection.
Exactly.
Now you're wondering why I can't take it off, or why I can't get this car, or why I can't get approved for this house, because you have negative items on your report.
Right.
Right. So it's very important to, even though you don't necessarily want to use credit, because I do have credit cards that I don't even use, at least understand the fundamentals of how credit works. So then if you're ever in a jam, now you can see, like, all right, Jamel did tell me this. Like, he did say, like, it's going to be a point in time where I'm not going to necessarily use it, but I still have it just in case I need to use it, right? Because it's not a necessity. You don't need to have credit cards. You don't need to have loans. The things I just mentioned before, like a mortgage is a form of credit. A car loan is a form of credit. Like things of that nature you don't necessarily need. A student loan is a form of credit. Right. So you're going to need it at some point in time. Whether you go to college or you become an entrepreneur, you're definitely going to need credit.
Right, exactly.
It's very important. Like, it's very important. You won't be able to graduate college if you don't take out student loans. If you don't have scholarships, you're going to have to take out student loans. And if you're an entrepreneur on this side, in order for you to scale your business so you don't necessarily have to work and spend all your time making money, you're going to have to leverage credit to do so. Or you're going to have enough money to have other people where you can pay them so they don't have to do the work that you're doing, right? So it just becomes a cycle. Like, you just have to understand, like, how it works and why it's important. So that's why I'm so big on just having people understand why it's important,
for sure. All right. So what do you consider a good or bad credit score? Because this question right here varies depending. I've learned, a little bit myself. It varies, because sometimes you can have a great credit score, bro, and you still want to prove for certain things. You know what I'm saying? So can you break that down for the people, bro?
So a good credit score is anything. So you want to look at it from like a grade level, right? Like, like back in high school or even in college, they give you a letter grade. Right. So anything from like an A to a D or even an F, right? So A or A minus would be anywhere between a 720 to like an 850, right? So that's A minus to like A plus. Right. 850 is an A plus. Like, you can't escape. 850 is the highest credit score you can have. Right. So below a 720 is going to be like 680 to 790, 680 to like 719, 720-ish is going to be like the B grade. That's your B grade. So that's not terrible. Right. Like, you up there, you got to do a little more legwork to get up there, but you're not far away. Like, it's still attainable. You can still get to a 720, like, easily, right? So a bad credit score, just to answer your question and not go off on a tangent, bad credit score is anything below a 680. A great credit score is anything above a 720. Okay. Right. And I can say, honestly, a bad credit score is anything like below a 650, but I just want people to have in their mindset that if it's not 680, at least 680 is terrible. Right.
Don't settle.
I don't want you to be thinking like, oh yeah, I'm doing all right. It's not too bad. Like, no, if it's not at least a 680, it's terrible. Right. So 680, you're barely touching the surface of it being like borderline bad, borderline good, but it's in the middle. It's neutral. Right. You can get away with a lot of things by having a 680 credit score. In the same way, you can get away with a lot of things by having a 720 credit score. For the sake of the example of you asking the question, 680 will be considered, anything below a 680 will be considered terrible. Anything above a 720 is good.
Okay. All right. For sure, bro. So if I have bad credit, right, around like a 400 credit score range, right? This is for somebody who have like a 400 credit score. So what are some good startup secured credit cards to help a person start out building with?
So if you're at a 400 credit score, I wouldn't even advise you to take out any secure credit cards, because 9 times out of 10, you probably have derogatory marks on your report, which you need to first get off first.
Right.
So that would be the first step, is to remove the derogatory marks and the negative items off your report first. Once those are gone, then you can add like primary accounts and secure credit cards. One secure credit card that I would mention is like Discover It secure credit card.
Okay.
It gives you cash back on the credit card. You can operate it the same way you use a traditional credit card. It's the same thing, but it's just a secure credit card. So that means you have to put your own money up as collateral. And then it's the same way it operates as the same credit card. It's just you putting your own money up. Another thing that I would advise somebody to take out is like primary accounts. Like I mentioned, is Self. Self is a good one. I always recommend Self to everybody. So it's like an installment loan, almost like a CD that you would take out at the bank. But at the same time, you're building your credit at the same time of you paying down the installment loan. So depending on the term that you have will determine how much you'll pay on a monthly basis for that term. After that term, they return the money with interest, and then you can do what you want to do. You can turn that into a secure credit card as well, depending on the term. So I took the money and I just invested in stocks, It was like 5 something. You could do that if you want to, because it's money that you accumulated over a certain period of time.
Right.
And it grew in interest. So it's like another way for you to build your credit and save money at the same time. Still another way, right? It's another alternative. But to answer your question, I wouldn't even advise anyone with a 400 credit score to start taking out secure credit cards. You'll most likely get denied. But I'm pretty sure, like, they'll look at you like, you have all of these derogatory marks. Why do you even want another card? They're not even going to give it to you.
What are you doing it to yourself for, right?
You're doing it to yourself. Another card that you can apply for too, that now that I think about it, is Open Sky. Open Sky is another secure credit card. But again, you want to be, if you're going to apply for secure credit cards, you want to be at least in like the 550, 560 range. 400 credit score is like you don't have no credit at all, or you have credit and all the credit that you had is derogatory. So you don't necessarily want to be in that space if you have derogatory marks. But I'm going to just play God's advocate and say, if you are at a 400 credit score and you don't have any derogatory marks, you can start building your portfolio with Self and, Discover It and like all of these different things to boost your credit score. Because then your score is going to jump from 400 to like 600, right? Just by you adding piloted accounts. And you can add somebody else as an authorized user. You can piggyback on somebody else's credit as an authorized user on a trade line. And then that, as a result, will boost your score as well. So it really depends on where you are. Because 400, when I hear 400, the first thing that comes in my head is you got a terrible credit score because you don't pay on anything. I don't necessarily equate it to you don't have no credit at all, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Because you usually see, and I've been doing this for a pretty decent amount of time to know, like, when you're at a 400, you probably have derogatory accounts. You don't necessarily have no credit at all. You most likely don't. You most likely have credit, but you didn't keep up with it, so now it's derogatory. Right? So that's the first thing that puts in my head. But
you like, anytime you hear that number, you like, that's
I'm like,
first thing that comes to mind.
For sure. You got derogatory accounts for sure.
Exactly. So my other question for you is how many credit cards you suggest someone should have starting out to apply for to build their personal credit? Like, how many should they
you
have?
Start off with like 1 or 2.
If they have a good
start off with like 1 or 2. And the reason I say 1 or 2 is because if you're not educated on credit, I wouldn't want you to take out 3 or 4 cards and then it becomes overwhelming for you, because now you feel like, oh, I got a decent limit over here, I got a decent limit here, and then people just, if they're not educated on it, they'll necessarily just accumulate so much debt, and then now you're digging yourself in a deeper hole. So I would say start off with like a secure card, and if you got the option to do a traditional credit card, you can do so, an unsecured credit card. So now you have one where you put your own money up as collateral, and then you have one where the bank is just giving you a credit limit based on your credit score. So if your score is decent, I say get a traditional and a secured. But if your score is like, it's not all the way where you want it to be, but you don't have no derogatory marks in your report, I'll say get a secure credit card, because then that'll boost. Over time, with you using that secure credit card, you'll be fine. So like 1 to 2 cards, depending on your situation.
Okay. So what if like they have like 2 secured credit cards opposed to having just like a regular, unsecured. That's cool too.
That's fine. That's definitely fine. As long as you have credit is the most important thing. Okay. Whether like secured, the only difference between the secured and the traditional is obviously you're using your own money, right? But your limits are relatively lower as well because you're using your own money, right? You don't hear too many people say, "Oh, I got a secure credit card for $5,000." You're not putting up $5,000. You're right. You probably might put up 500, not 5,000. But if the bank is giving you or the lender is giving you a credit card of 5,000, right? That's a different story. But if you don't have any credit prior to you applying to that secure card, you first have to start building your credit. So you have to do the necessary steps to even get to that position. You can't just jump from having no credits and then applying for a traditional credit card. You got to, it's baby steps, it's steps. Exactly. Like when Meek Mill said it's levels.
Exactly, it's levels to this. Yeah,
it's levels. It's
for
levels.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. That was the best way of putting it too, bro. You can't just think you on, you
can't jump.
You know what I'm saying? You big time now. You can do this. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta play the game. You can't jump.
Exactly. People see them numbers, bro. Credit limits, and they go crazy sometimes. Be like, all right, I'm gonna apply for this. They just lose it. You know what I'm saying?
You can't do that. That's how your head get messed up. You don't want your head to be, like I said, if you don't know how to manage it, it just becomes overwhelming to the point where you don't understand how things operate, right? But if you understand it, it's like, I could apply for secure, then I could apply for a regular credit card,
Right,
so
exactly.
It really depends on your situation, bro. That's all I can really say.
Exactly, for sure. So where can your clients go to look for credit reports for free?
For free, you can try annualcreditreport.com. The only thing with annualcreditreport.com is you don't get your scores. You just get a list of all the history dating back to 7 years on your credit report. So, one site that I do recommend that my clients use, it's not free, but you'll have to pay a monthly subscription, is My Score IQ or Identity IQ. Okay. So those you'll have to pay. It's $1 for 7-day trial, but every single month, if you keep it or you keep it after the 7-day trial, they charge you up to like $29 to $39, depending on what it is. But those two websites that I mentioned give you your FICO score and not your Vantage score. Right. Just like a quick understanding between the two. Your Vantage score is the things where you'll see on Credit Karma. So Credit Karma shows you your Vantage score, right? Right. And FICO, My Score IQ and Identity IQ show you your FICO score. So when you go to apply for the things that I mentioned previously, like a car, a house, they're not looking at your Vantage score. They're looking at your FICO score. Okay. So these sites, the reason why they're expensive and are not free is because they're showing you your accurate score. They're not showing you like a Fox score, like how Credit Karma or like all these different other websites that are free are showing you your score because they're most likely using a Vantage scoring system. So, yeah.
Okay. So what about Experian?
Experian, you'll still have to pay for it to get all 3 bureaus, but I know it's free if you just sign up just to use Experian. But again, Experian only going to show you Experian if you're not paying for the subscription. But if you are paying for the subscription, you obviously have to pay for it, right? So see it, you're going to pay like $20 or $25 a month to see all 3 bureaus. Okay. But if you just have the Experian app, which I just have the Experian app. I don't have any other app besides Experian and My Score IQ. But I mainly use My Score IQ because it shows me all 3 of them side by side. Then just to use Experian. Experian only shows you just Experian.
Oh, right? Okay. See, I ain't know that. Yeah.
Unless you pay for the subscription.
Okay, right. Okay, cool.
For sure.
Okay. So I pretty much asked you overall what's your mission for your business and everything. So I'm gonna be honest with you, this is the fun part of the segment, bro. So we about to get into some rapid fire questions, bro. So I hope you're ready, bro. You know,
for sure.
This ain't credit right here though. You know,
no, for sure.
So all right, so we're gonna get into this. So what would you have done, bro, if you was Chris Rock? And you know what I'm talking about, bro. So we
would have been fighting on that stage. I'm not gonna lie, we would have been fighting on that stage, bro. We would have been fighting on that stage. Professional, Grand, Oscar, whatever. Like we fighting wherever we at. Another man can't put his hands on me and just feel like he could just walk away back to his seat and think everything is cool. I'm not cut from the cloth for like fighting for my life, but at the same time, I'm not gonna have nobody disrespect me like that.
For
No
sure,
way.
for sure.
I don't have nobody disrespect me like that. No way. Can't happen, man. He was too cool about it. Like obviously, it worked out in his favor.
Yeah.
Although you got slapped the shit out of,
He
but at the
slapped
same
the
time,
shit
it's
out of
like you got slapped the shit out of, but he now gets all the sympathy. And
Right.
he now gets other opportunities because he just stood still, you know?
Yep.
But if he was to fight and match Will's energy, then it kind of would have, you know, it would have been a whole, he would have lost endorsement deals. He would have lost this.
Man.
So, you know, it's one of those things where you're like, damn, like, it's easy to say, like, you'll slap the shit out of Will Smith, but at the
Right.
same time, it's like, damn, like, I see why he didn't, like,
Slap the
he
shit
didn't
out.
match his energy, you know?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I see
For
why
sure. He played it smart for the future.
He did. He definitely did.
Because the moment he could have took off and tee off on him, you know what I'm saying, in that moment.
Right.
And showed him how he was coming, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he was like, nah, I ain't finna do all that.
Right.
Gotta keep my composure because I got a future to look forward to. So
I'm telling you, he know what he did.
For
He
sure.
know what he did.
For sure. So my next question, bro, is who you got, Cardi B or Nicki Minaj, bro? Who better? Who like?
I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I don't even listen to either of their music, but
Okay.
if I had to go with artist wise, just off of longevity, I'll pick Nicki because she been on the scene for a lot longer. She got a much more longer track record, credit history. So I said credit history. She got a longer history of like
it's a habit, bro.
discography. You know, like she got a long longevity of that. Yeah. So yeah, for sure.
For sure. So if you could sit at a round table, bro, with 3 millionaires, who would it be?
3 millionaires. I would pick Rick Ross's brain.
Okay.
Millionaires. Well, these people that I'm thinking about not even millionaires no more. They billionaires.
Right. They got the big B's.
I'll sit with Jay if he was in a position.
Right.
You know, I'll sit with Jay for sure. And my third person, and this is hard, man. This is hard.
See?
Third person, I don't know who I would pick, but I would want to pick the brain of somebody that doesn't look like me per se.
Right, exactly.
Just so I can get like a different perspective of like how they think. So, probably like a hedge fund manager or something. You know, like somebody that's making a multi-millions of dollars a year. Like I would love to sit down with them just to see like just to pick their brain about the economy, how they feel like as far as like stocks and just like how they manage these big profiles and like how they keep a level head dealing with all these types of money and all that. So definitely, I definitely want to sit down with those three.
I agree with you for sure. That's a good one though. So who is your favorite rapper, bro, from Queens, bro, from New York?
Favorite rapper?
You from Queens, right? You from Queens, bro. So who your favorite?
Yeah, my favorite rapper from Queens gotta be. Damn, this is hard because I like 50 and I like Nas.
Yeah, I mess with both of them too, for sure.
I like 50 and I like Nas, so but I would say 50. 50 had a much greater impact on my life because I grew up listening to 50 music. At the time when G Unit was popping, I was probably like, I want to say 11, 12 years old. So that was around the time, like, you know, where everything was just, you know, I got to see it in full spectrum. You know?
Right.
It was just like, whoa, this is different. Like everybody wearing G Unit sneakers, tank tops, and you know, everything was just like
it was nostalgic. Different time, bro.
Sure, bro. Yeah. I'll definitely say that. I'll definitely say those two for sure. But for sure. Most likely 50 for sure.
For sure. Yeah. I would say for me though, definitely 52. But I'm older. I'm 33. So at the same time, like I seen both of them. So they kind of match me neck and neck with the sense of the impact in the sense. But of course, you know, 50 he's still big relevant. You know,
right.
Sure. So what is the craziest thing you ever seen, bro, walking down the street? You know what I'm saying?
I live in New York City, bro, so you're gonna run into all types of shit.
That's why I'm asking you, because I'm like
crackheads. You're gonna run into prostitutes, like you're gonna run into crackheads, you're gonna run into man, you're gonna run into people that's just laying on the street because they just sprung out on drugs. Like,
but what's like something that sticks out that you'll never forget? Because it was something I seen, because I'm from Chicago, bro. So I seen this dude one day, bro, he was rolling up and down the street. Like he looked like he was still in the garbage can, bro. Rolling it down the street, bro, pushing it and running with it. Coming out the alley, bro. And I'm what? That was one of the crazy things I seen. I'm not gonna lie.
I used to work in the city, because you know New York City our subways is known for having rodents. So
yeah,
I seen a guy go on the tracks, like pick up the rat from the tail, and like he just put it in like his coat pocket type shit. Like, I seen this, I was like, what the hell? Like I didn't believe it, but bro, I just see some crazy. Like now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I just see some crazy shit, bro. Like,
some real crazy. For sure. Well, thank you for being a guest on my first episode, bro, and I appreciate the game you giving us, bro. And where can our listeners find you, bro? Connect with you to get some more game from you.
No, absolutely. First and foremost, I just want to thank you for having me on, bro.
For sure.
Y'all can definitely follow me on social media at Building Block Credit. You can follow me on TikTok at Building Block Credit. You can find me on